Going for a day hike. I'm in the Sipsey wilderness, and I'm going to be hiking what I call my waterfall route, which in the Sipsey wilderness could be virtually any route because there are waterfalls all over the place. We've had a good bit of rain, so the waterfalls should be running. And I'm going to be hiking a route that is mostly off trail. There's a little bit of trail because this does get hiked, but there are no official trails for this one. This is going to be Wolfpen. So I'll go to Wolfpen Falls, then it goes to Sipsey Fork. Hike a little bit along Sipsey Fork, and that little stretch on Sipsey Fork, there's a good trail. And then it goes up Eagle Creek, and then going up Eagle Creek, I'll come across a couple of falls. I'll describe all of that kind of as I go and as I get there. But this hike always starts out walking through a great neighborhood, and in this neighborhood, people are just dying to get in. Yuck, 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 yuck. Like I said, there's not a real trail, but you can see just kind of a wide, beaten down area where people obviously travel, and so that's what I'm following. And it's kind of intermittent, and it switches sides all the time, so so at some point on this trip, you are almost assured of getting your feet wet. So I just made it to Sipsey Fork, and I've been going a little over an hour, maybe an hour and 20 minutes. Couldn't tell you the distance. Can't be more than about a mile and a half, but you're generally slowed down because it's in large part it's kind of off trail. But there's a campsite right here as Wolfpen Creek ends here at Sipsey Fork, and I'm gonna stop here and I'm gonna set up for just a minute, take a break. The ground's a little bit soft, but I'm not sinking in too bad. Right now I'm just hoping I don't sink in and fall backwards on camera, because then I'll have to go through the effort to edit that out, because you're not gonna see that. So I said I brought my cook kit, and I brought some coffee. So let me give you an idea. I have a homemade alcohol stove. cat food can with the holes cut in it. I bring the fuel in a Diet Coke bottle. I guess that helps distinguish it. I don't know. Anyway, that's just what I use. I just use a Diet Coke bottle. You know what? I didn't measure it. It's okay. The first time I made this with the holes cut in it, I cooked on it or experimented with it, and what I found was that it was not efficient at all. And I realized that if I set it just a little bit above it, where the flames would do better, they would, I guess they catch more air, more oxygen. And so I got this is for a little can of mushrooms, and of course you take the top off when you cook with the mushrooms. Then I took the bottom off, cut 3 notches in the bottom so that the fuel could go in it and out of it. And what that does is that sets it up maybe a 1/4 of an inch, something like that, so that the stove can work a little bit more efficiently. Tell you what, why don't I light it first? Oh, there it goes. Oh, wow, that was so slow to light. I wish I could tell you how many ounces that whole setup is. It's not many. It's really light. That's the Tokes 750 cook pot, and I could probably just drink my coffee out of that, but I've got the collapsible cup that has become so popular now, so that's what I do now. Because probably what I'm going to do is when I make my first cup, I'm probably going to start boiling water for a second cup. I think that's going to be the plan. And I'll also say that there are not many more enjoyable places to be than something like this, where you got the sound of the water over here. Seems like the sun's coming out and the clouds may be breaking up a little bit, so this is pretty close to perfect right here. It will be perfect as soon as this coffee is ready. I'm a little impatient for coffee. But you know what? I don't drink boiling coffee anyway. Oh, look. Ran out of fuel. The timing could not have been better. almost a disaster. I am not a coffee snob. Now, I do like the Starbucks Vias. It's good, but I'm equally content to just have the taster's choice. I brought almost the exact right amount of fuel, just a little bit extra. Yeah. That's one of the tough things about alcohol stoves is you can't see the flame. So until you feel the heat, you're never 100% sure it's lit. So there will be a second cup of coffee. And that emptied my water, so I'm going to have to go filter some water here in just a second. I hope I can find some water around here. I gotta find a place to hang it. Let's see. Because I'm telling you, if you've never hung your water to let gravity do it, then you're not living right. So this is the not Vecto, I think. It's not for sure. Saw your squeeze. And in order to do this, you have to leave, you can't tighten it down, you gotta leave it a little bit loose so there's somewhere for the air to go. And now gravity does that while I go do something else. And of course I've done this where I've squeezed the bag and it does make the flow go a lot faster, of course, but if I'm in no hurry, which I am not right now, then I am going to let gravity do it. So I walked the short trail, and it's a pretty decent trail, more like a legit Sipsey Wilderness Trail, along Sipsey Fork to connect Wolfpen with Eagle Creek. And so now I'm on Eagle Creek, and it's not far up here. There's a creek called Little Ugly Creek, and I don't know why it's called that because it's really not ugly at all. But as soon as I get there, it's a short walk up. I don't even think it's 100 yards to get to two waterfalls that flow into basically the same spot. So that's where I am, and that's what's going on. Without any question, Eagle Creek and Little Ugly are, to me, one of the prettiest places out here. So if you're walking this route, basically once you get to Eagle Creek, you have to resign yourself to having wet feet for the rest of the day, because you're going to have several crossings, and really none of them, I shouldn't say none of them, not many of them are very convenient. So this is crossing number 2. Crossing number 1, I was ankle deep, and this one is going to be a little bit more than ankle deep. I think I'm going to go this way. It won't be quite as deep as that hole right there. Ooh, that was shin deep. And if you're wondering, it's February 1st, so yes, this water is cold. So here's one of those spots where when you're walking along, it gets really steep and almost ledgy over here, and you can see it crosses over there. You can pretty clearly see that there is a trail, and I think this is the place where most people cross. So this will be crossing number 5 for Eagle Creek. The interesting thing is that if you're, without working very hard at it, you can get all the way down Wolfpen and stay dry. But Eagle Creek, you can just about forget it. Just saw somebody, first time I've ever seen anybody on this loop, and he and I were talking about it, that if you felt like you just had to, you could probably do this bit on Eagle Creek and stay dry, but you would spend your entire day doing nothing but looking for places to cross and stay dry. So I'd rather just make my mind up that I'm going to be a little bit wet and just make a decision to be okay with that. Still on Eagle Creek, and that is a little, you can see I'm in the canyon for here for Eagle Creek. Little side stream that comes in. It comes in right down that chute right there and joins Eagle Creek. All right, so I've been walking upstream of Eagle Creek. Eagle Creek continues that way. I'll be going that way in just a minute. But this is where Little Ugly Creek comes into Eagle Creek. And so I'll be walking up this way here, not very far, and get to the next set of waterfalls. These are pretty big. All right, so I have arrived, and to me this is, even though Eagle Creek Falls is more spectacular for a fall, there's just something special about this little canyon right here, because that's Little Ugly Falls. Little Ugly Creek continues coming from that direction. And then Deer Skull here, and you can see it has many cascades coming from pretty far up there. Just a really pretty place right here. One of the wonderful things about the Sipsey Wilderness is that you can find places like this just about everywhere. Everywhere there's a waterway. If you follow it long enough, you're going to come across little cascades like this. So I've now had 8 crossings that necessitated getting wet. That doesn't count the ones, there's only one, where I could have gotten across dry, but I just slipped. And now on this one, instead of crossing, I just walked right down the middle of it for a short distance. So I'll count this as 9. Holy cow, this is crazy. So this is Eagle Creek Falls, and wow, I'm not real sure about that. The way out is right up there, but those 2 trees have fallen, kind of blocking it. I'm not sure how I'm gonna get out. Yeah, I'll make it. I think looks were deceiving. In fact, these trees were probably here last time I did this. I don't know why it looked to me like it was blocking it, but anyway, it turned out to be no big deal at all. It was nothing. The climb up was easy. Now, it's no more than about 50 yards. Continuing upstream, take a left at the next stream, and then a right at the stream after that. And that pretty well takes you out. Now, I've done this before with map and compass, because on the way out, I think most hikers have heard about, kind of getting turned around, especially in a wilderness area like this, where the trails can be a little bit sketch or non-existent. So what I use now is an app called Avenza Maps. And what I'll do is I'll put up a screenshot of what the map looks like, and also a screenshot of what the icon looks like. So if you're interested in doing it, I highly recommend it. Their maps are GPS enabled, so it shows a little blue dot exactly where you are, which makes navigation really easy, provided your phone has battery. So anyway, I'll flash those up and kind of give you an idea of what to look for if you want to get it. They do have maps that are for sale, but they also have a lot of maps that are free. I downloaded it with the idea that I'd probably end up buying a handful of maps, but as it turns out, all the ones that I wanted were free. So the one that I use, and again, I'll flash up a picture of what the map looks like, but it has topography and trails on it, so you get a really good idea of exactly where you are. So anyway, it makes getting out of here a little bit easier than using map and compass. I really don't like road walks, but I also really don't like ending trips with road walks, which makes this road walk one of the worst. I complain too much. Actually, it's not so bad. It's only about a half-mile road walk. So, and then I'm done. It's been a good trip. Hope you stuck around to the end. Hope you enjoyed the video of the waterfalls.